Perhaps a most mind-boggling scheme indulged in by the federal government is the subsidy regime. Now, stopping it altogether is even more breathtaking. The federal authorities have hinted at removing it in the new year, which means jacking up the pump prices of refined petroleum products in the new year. Consequent upon this, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, is spoiling for a nationwide strike, which would come unannounced. We hear an impromptu strike, I hope I got that right, is slated for January 27th, during which a protest letter will be submitted to all the 36 governors. Recall that Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed announced that 5,000 naira monthly stipend will be paid to some 40 million Nigerians who are poor, and that's to aid their transportation wahala. This subsidy regime again
is an inevitability. We have boxed ourselves into a corner as a country. Successive, irresponsible administrations in our country have ensured that we allowed our refineries to be in the state that they are currently. A few years back, in the whole year, Kaduna Refinery, seen by many as our most modern refinery, refined a total of 50 million
barrels,
liters of crude oil. Just 50 million liters. That is less than our present consumption rate for a day. That's one of our 4 refineries manage to refine just what
can sustain the country for one day.
For one day. In fact, by NNPC's estimation, although some of us disagree, we are actually consuming 103 million liters of PMS a day. But the same people let it be known that a good portion of this goes to servicing some of our neighbors, meaning that we are subsidizing a lot of smuggling activities across our borders, Cameroon, Niger, and Benin Republic. We are subsidizing plenty of smuggling. So, for me, 103 million liters a day is a no-brainer. There's no way by which you can justify it.
Means too high for us to consider.
Extremely too high when you bear in mind the consumption level during the Jonathan years, when we had greater prosperity as a country.
Yeah.
If you check with the registration outfits in our country, with the vehicle licensing and registration outfits in our country, you will see that we have not bought more cars now than that time, because the funds are simply not there. The economy is much more problematic now than that time. The economy was adjudged one of the fastest growing in the world back in 2014, early 2015. So if we were not consuming up to 103 million liters at that time, how come we are suddenly, but this is a matter for which we can have a 1-hour debate or even more. But the truth now is, who is going to pay for our inability to keep our refineries working? Because if we kept the refineries working and they were producing here, we won't be talking about
subsidy
as we are talking about it now.
So
it is not a strange thing. Countries subsidize. We've seen countries like Thailand subsidize rice to keep the farmers in business. But the problem with our own petroleum subsidy here is it has actually helped a lot of the enemies of Nigeria to line their pockets and to grow fat at the expense of the states.
Including, Jide, some unscrupulous Nigerians.
Yeah. Even those ones that I'm talking about, they are still unscrupulous too.
So for you, subsidy should go?
No, it's inevitable at this stage. It's inevitable.
Yusuf, subsidy will go, but at a price.
Terrible price. Catastrophic, price. You get me? This government, to me, what it should have done, it didn't do. 6 years.
Which is visit
the refineries working. You get me? This is one government that has always talked about it. Get the refineries working. The best way to get rid of subsidy in a painless, smooth way.
Yeah.
Get the refineries working. What they made to look complicated in Nigeria is not really complicated if leadership is doing the right thing. But when you see failure of leadership, that is always easy to punish the victims. Who are the victims? The people. For example, in the last 6 years, there are enough to put refineries in place. Whatever
magic, even build new ones.
Licenses were given.
Whatever you want to do, either through privatization, through direct funding, through whatever, this government has got enough time to resolve that crisis, because it's a crisis that's been there for long. And the same method that previous administrations have used, that's what this government has used. Now, if we are not refining oil, because we share they are the only country that has this notoriety of being one of the major oil, producers that is now going around, importing refined fuel. It's an embarrassment. The best way to solve it, when you put refineries in place and we are refining enough locally, then naturally those
subsidy will die.
But now, because I don't know, maybe lack of political will, maybe laziness, maybe not knowing what to do, now you now want to punish the victims of failure of government.
I just saw on the footage a Luther community.
So with what we are going to face next year, remember the last economists were talking about what many economists were doing after COVID-19. What was Nigeria doing? It is that time that you should increase electricity prices. It is that time you should increase this price, that price, this price. That, when most economists of the world are trying to empower their people to, empower the economy, so that people can, emerge from the crisis, better. Now, you are now going to next year. That's the time. I call it election year, because by that time, campaigns,
election year.
So if you remove subsidy next year, so I wanted to remove subsidy, please don't misquote me, but the timing will be extremely catastrophic for our country.
So you mean
the crisis of everything will skyrocket.
Well, yeah, you are saying there's a wrong time. There's a wrong time
for doing
to
something
do the right thing.
So when you do a good thing and a wrong time, it becomes a wrong thing.
Okay. Jide, I was looking at Mr. President as a former petroleum minister in this country. So the dynamics are not new to him.
He's still petroleum minister. He's not former.
Okay. No. Oh, well, I go back to Mr. President is petroleum minister, and we are in this crazy mess by choice.
Well, I will expect that we could handle things better, but as we have seen, we are unable to find the right solution to this problem. Nigerians petrol is, as I've said before, a dangerous product. Dangerous in the sense that if we do not handle the after effect of removal of subsidy carefully, it will bring.
Yeah, I'm wondering how careful you could be.
It will bring real problems. It's a security product, no doubt about it. It's a security product because if you don't handle it well, it could lead to serious security mess
For the country.
For the country, and we've always wanted the downstream sector to be fully deregulated. That has been done. The law is in place. There is no way that government can continue to regulate and fix prices of petroleum products after the second quarter of next year.
Yeah.
There's no way, because the law is in place.
That's the PI.
Yes, PIA.
The PIA, yeah.
Yes, the PIA is in place, and it stipulates that this idea of government through the PPPRA fixing prices with the PIA in place, that will no longer happen. Prices will then be determined by market forces and the rest, because government control of that sector will have petered out.
Yeah.
So what do we do? How do we get around that? How do we get around a situation in which petrol moves to about 345 naira per dollar, depending on the going price in the global market? If it goes to 345 naira per liter, it is easier imagined
than experience.
Yes, it's easier imagined.
Okay, I know it won't be Greek to our public affairs analyst, who we are joining now by Skype, Achike Chude. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear us, Achike?
Achike, are you there? Hello, Achike, can you hear us? Okay, we'll attempt to get back to you. Yeah, you were going to say, Yusuf.
Yes, the milk subsidy looks like it's a very bad thing, it's a very dangerous thing, negative thing, all those things. Virtually all the countries of the world.
I hear countries, he talked about
if you read
Thailand, but
Union,
America also subsidizes farmers too.
European Union countries increased within 2019 and now by 8%.
Increased what?
For subsidy for fossil fuels and all that. America, Japan, China, other countries, they account for 2/3 of subsidies globally. I'm not saying we should continue with this kind of subsidy, because this is not a subsidy that is working, but for us to remove it, you have to put something on the floor, on the ground, which is our refineries must start working. When we are now refining oil, nobody will discuss it. This is an administration that has said it has removed fuel subsidy many times.
Yeah.
You understand me? You don't need to tell anybody. People will just realize that it's no longer in the books. You understand my point? Without doing that, what we have, may even jeopardize the next election. The crisis that will come. It will, the crisis that will erupt.
Because the figures running, one is saying
the inflationary trend that will come, the hunger, the poverty, everything, it will be unmanageable.
Again, still talking about doing the right thing at the wrong time. Achike Chude,
but states will earn more money from the distributable
and some will
or the distributable revenue allocation,
and some will have more money to steal.
Where did that come from? Achike Chude, good evening to you.
Doomsday prophet.
Are you there, Achike?
Hello, comrades.
Okay. All right. The connection to Achike seems to have gone awry. Okay. Olanrewaju is reaching us from Ilorin, Kwara State. Olanrewaju, I greet you.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And thank you, discussant in the House.
And
my take is on the situation of our subsidy removal. I think it is quite untimely and insensitive on the part of the government, because I am an outfit seller, and the price of items in the market as of today, it is quite alarming. Let me say frankly that in the history of this country, things are not so high in the market as it is today. Talking about rice, spaghetti, and other things like that. Now they are thinking of increasing the price of the fuel that serve as the determinant for other things in the country. So I would have advised APC government to postpone this subsidy removal. Perhaps the next administration comes in. Maybe that administration will think of which method to be adopted to solve the situation. But for the administration that told us the first instance that there is no subsidy, now the subsidy is on and they cannot undo it. So the question is, why Mr. President, State President, at the same time Petroleum Minister, is here to be no, because there's no reason for this, no solution to this. We're now waiting for what do you call it, Dangote refineries to be on, or perhaps we can wait till we see that of Port Harcourt. In 2 months' time, it will be fixed.
Olanrewaju, I thank you. Sometimes I wonder I wonder if somebody like you could take the place of Petroleum Minister. But that's neither here nor there. Jide, let's look at the Aluta community. It is spoiling for war.
No, the government has to engage with labor. I read what the minister promised to do, share money, 5,000. We always think that when there's a problem, the best thing is to throw money at it. But not every Nigerian belongs to labor. Not every Nigerian belongs to the extremely poor class. So what do we do to ensure that no one feels left behind?
Yeah.
We all face this pain when it comes. No one will be able to avoid the pain. So government's response to this problem or attempt to mitigate this problem must be able to accommodate as many of our people as possible. The other day when we increased fuel price, we told the people that we were going to introduce mass transit, that we will get labor involved. I think over time, labor has come to see Nigerian leaders as people that can be trusted, that even that they do not honor their word when they make such promises. It's just a matter of time before you see that there's really no serious attempt to honor their word. But we are approaching a very critical valley of decision now. And the president, I know that for years, the president had been reluctant to do this because he knew that it would inflict so much pain on our people, and he didn't want to see that. But the World Bank, the IMF, and other people, they've told us in plain language that if we sustain this subsidy regime, the economy will eventually
crash.
Yes, because some of the money that we could actually save and spend on critical infrastructure are ending up in people's pockets in the name of subsidy. No one is saying subsidy does not exist, but the point that we are making is that a good portion of that money goes into private pockets. We saw what was happening that time.
We know.
Yes.
Private pockets. Remember, that we know.
Yes, that we know. People are even on trial now for subsidy theft. Or are you not aware? Back then.
Oh, is he not aware there is corruption in it?
Back then, people were put on trial. People claimed that they were bringing in petroleum product. They did all the documentation was done, but they never brought a liter of crude oil or refined crude oil into our country. And they have been put on trial. Some have even been jailed. I'm aware of those that have been jailed. Since the Jonathan era, it's been discovered that people were using the subsidy to
any
steal.
cover from them.
They will take money from Nigeria and not bring in any product. That is what we are saying. They will claim that, oh, they are even some will bring product and divert it to the coast of our neighbors, where it then gets sold
at higher price
to international. I'm sure you know this.
International
in Benin Republic, you don't go to
marketers.
In Benin Republic, you don't go to a gas station. You buy petrol in bottles and so on. Till day after tomorrow.
No, that's not true.
That's not completely
that
true.
Is not
Those who will buy.
Tell me
I was in Benin Republic in July. That's not true.
What happens?
What is true is that your people from here, still go to their border, and when you see almost at 20 meters away, you see from police to DSS to custom to this, and all the vehicles plying the road, they know one another, the security agents and them, and you must open your boot. If you open your boot, they say 2, 4, 5, 6 kegs, you do the normal payment and go. You understand my point? But when you go to Republic of Benin to say this jerrycan, no, that's not true. There are filling stations all over.
It would have changed. It would have been changed.
There is a country that is fast modernizing. You are saying jerrycan, go there, and you'll be ashamed. You see what is been happening there.
But go to Nigeria's North Borno State. Do you have fuel stations?
There are fuel stations in communities that are
Boko Haram free.
Yes, there are fuel stations in the state capital. Walk into by fuel, but there is also a lot of smuggling going on there, and going on especially in Cameroon. There are so many Nigerian trailers, tankers that are funneling petrol across the border. There is a lot of smuggling. Because it's more expensive. It's more expensive outside of Nigeria. All of our neighbors, there's no country where petrol is not more expensive than it is in Nigeria. So there's a big incentive for smugglers to just get the product across the border so that they can make good money.
Our problems are self-inflicted.
Yes.
Yes, the subsidies were designed for you and I, to make life easy for us. But people who are bent on making money at the expense of the state have now turned to smugglers, and dozens and dozens of tankers are going across the border to go and sell petrol to people. There are people who open, let me also tell you something, there are people who open filling stations
around the borders
in the north
because they make money.
And those filling stations, they are supposed to move fuel to them. They don't move fuel to them. The fuel that they are supposed to move to them in the name of Petroleum Equalization Fund and all that gets diverted to neighboring countries. But in the books, you think that there's a filling station that is there, but the fuel will not get there.
I don't know if Olawale, who is reaching us from Ikorodu, knows about this. Good evening, Olawale. Yeah, I greet you.
Good evening, Baba.
Okay, good evening.
I agree too, sir.
Yes, I just have two comments because there is no time. Your very first topic about the role of Bello Tuji or Tuji Bello. I don't know what you call
Bello
it.
Tuji.
Can't we use our Tucano and technology to locate the exact location of this man who is troubling Nigeria? Because it's not only supposed to say that he's troubling. And get rid of him. As Babajide used to say, send him back to his creator. And that will teach others a lesson.
Yes.
Secondly, in respect of this subsidy issue, look, on several times, the government has told us that they will buy buses, mass transit vehicles to transport people. It has never worked. You just make millionaire of some members of National Union of Road Transport Workers. So thank you. Please, government should not do that. Find a way of letting people enjoy.
Olawale, thank you very kindly. Thank you. We must go. But then, Jide, quickly, 5,000 naira to 40 million poor Nigerians. Who determines who is poor? How do we determine them?
I don't know. You just find that a lot of the poorest of the poor still do not get the money. In any case, giving people, you do not banish poverty by giving monetary handouts to people. No. You need to do a lot better than simply, you need to be more creative than giving people 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira and think that you are tackling poverty. That's not how to tackle poverty. Because it will finish, in today's Nigeria, what is even 5,000 naira? It will finish spending that money.
That same day.
And his misery will continue.
All right. The backroom boys say it is time to go, and on this show, time is the master, we must leave. Adekunle Yusuf, have yourself a Merry Christmas, if you can. If you cannot, leave it for God. Jide, I know when I say have a Merry Christmas, I know you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting set.
Okay then.
For Christmas in the Northeast.
Yeah, I wish you a Merry Christmas because we couldn't wish you anything else.